What's up, guys? Chris over here at Cover 7. Hey, real quick, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's liked, comment, and subscribed. It goes a long ways, especially on a small channel like mine. So it's very, very appreciated over here. Just major shout out to you guys. Met some great people along the way so far as well. So with that being said, while you guys clicked on the video, we got Georgia catching 3 points here at Auburn. The over-under set to 46.5. This is a potential trap spot, in my opinion, here. I had this one circled on my list before the season started as potential games Georgia could lose. Now, does it happen? I don't know. I'll get into it here. I'll talk about Georgia. Then I'll talk about Auburn. I'll give my pick at the end, unbiasedly, by the way, if that is a word. And we'll see what you guys think. So with that being said, Georgia, look, they dismantled Kentucky last week. Look, it doesn't shock anybody. Kentucky's one of the worst teams in the SEC. I think the game that everybody's hanging their hat on here with Georgia is the game against Alabama, right? Hell of a football game. Georgia got down 14 early, which kind of seems to be the thing with Kirby Smart in some of these bigger games, but clawed their way back into it. Actually held Alabama scoreless in the second half. And I know it's been a couple weeks now, I still disagree with the decision to go for it on fourth down. I would have took the points if I was Kirby Smart there. That's neither here nor there, but I still take the points there, man. So let's talk about Gunnar Stockton, dude. This kid, the big question with him all year was, can this kid throw the football? He answered those questions. Yes, he can. The Tennessee game in particular, he played really well. And he's 91 of 132 on the year. He's got over 1,000 yards, 68.9% completion percentage. He's got 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. He's been sacked 5 times as well. Now, the running game from Georgia, which seems to be a hell of a lot better than it was last season. I had some serious concerns last year about them running the ball. They found their guy, Chauncey Bowens. This guy's the real deal. I really liked Nate Frazier, but Bowens averaged 12 yards a carry against Alabama. He was unbelievable. Georgia as a team averaged 7 in that game and still lost, by the way. Kind of a crazy stat there. Excuse me. So Nate Frazier, still a good back there. Gunnar Stockton can definitely hurt you with his legs. He's got 194 yards rushing on the year. He averages 5 yards a carry as well to go along with 5 scores. He's actually got the most touchdowns rushing on the team. Bowens with 3, Nate Frazier with 2. The receiving core, way, way better than it was last year. They led the country in drops last year. Georgia actually has got a couple guys that are really, really good. Colby Young on the outside, nice player. He can body a ball, your bigger possession receiver. Zachariah Branch reminds me a little bit, I know this is going out on a limb here, a little bit of Reggie Bush. When he gets the ball, man, he's electric. That guy's like a jitterbug back there. Huge upgrade on the wide receiver core this year for Georgia. Landon Humphreys, solid receiver. Dylan Bell, he's been around forever, it seems like. Solid slot guy as well. So no questions there with Georgia's offense. Defensively, Georgia's one of the better ones in the country. They always have been. Now, I do have a few concerns, which is a little odd here. Their pass defense is a little shaky at times. They gave up some big plays to Tennessee, to Alabama. So I do have a few questions there. They need to get that ironed out, in my opinion. They're still pretty good against the run, but just, with the Kirby Smart, I always think of, and who I really think is probably one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in college football. He's a defensive guy. He's been known for just great defenses at Georgia. I don't expect this year's Georgia defense to be the one of 21 or 22. I get all that. They got to quit giving up the big play. Now, who are they playing? Auburn. I got a lot to say about Auburn because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I can kind of relate to Auburn as being a Nebraska fan. Their fan base expects to compete for SEC titles, playoff spots, I cannot talk today, spots and national titles. So I get it. That's how Nebraska, how the fan base is here. Florida, I think, is another one, right? In the same boat. They expect to be competing for at least conference championships most years. With that being said, what is going on with Auburn in this offense under Hugh Freeze? I've said this once and I'll say it again. I'm not a big fan of Hugh Freeze. One, I think he's not a good person, for one, which regardless what you think about that, it shouldn't matter whether or not you're a good coach. I really don't think he's that good a coach. I just don't. I think this guy, he handpicked Jackson Arnold, and it's just not working out, dude. I know he needed somebody to run that offense, but it's pitiful. And I'll get into it here a little bit, but Auburn on the year is now 3-2. The expectations were super high at Auburn this season. They were supposed to, win 8-9 games. That's what their fan base told me. I was not one of those people. They started off 3-0. They beat Baylor week 1. Looked pretty good on offense. They put up 38 points, but Baylor's defense obviously is super sus. They beat Ball State, South Alabama. And then they got beat by Oklahoma. I don't want to hear about the refs. It was terrible. Refereeing across college football as a whole is garbage. But yeah, they did get screwed on some calls. I agree. But Auburn got beat there, man. And then A&M beat them 16-10. So, I mean, yes, those are two really good opponents in Oklahoma and A&M. Now you got to play Georgia. Next week you play Missouri. This is a tough 4-game stretch for Auburn. Very tough. Let's talk about Jackson Arnold. Look, I watched him play at Oklahoma. I wanted to give him a pass, right? Last year, the offensive line was terrible. All his receivers were hurt, but he turned the ball over a ton. Comes over to Auburn to run this offense with Hugh Freeze. It just ain't working out, dude. The guy can't throw the football, and I don't know if it's necessarily Jackson Arnold's fault. I don't know if he's not being taught or worked with. Where's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback coach? I don't know what's going on. It's kind of frustrating because I want to see Auburn compete and be good. They've been good a majority of my lifetime. It's weird that they're this bad on offense, and it's not because they don't have talent. I don't want to hear that in the comment section. Auburn's got a shit ton of talent on the offensive side of the ball. His numbers so far this year, 87 of 134 for 846 yards. He's got a 64.9 completion percentage, so not great there. Average yards per catch, only 6.3. That's super low. That's Dinkin and Duncan type numbers there. He's only got 5 touchdowns. Now, he does only have 0 interceptions, which is a good thing. That was kind of a problem last year at Oklahoma. Here's the big problem. He's been sacked 20 frickin' times. That offensive line is not helping him out whatsoever. Rushing the ball. Kind of been a struggle this year for Auburn as well. Jeremiah Cobb, not a bad back. He's got 58 carries on the year for 403 yards and 4 scores. Here's my thing, and I always say this about, it's not just Auburn in general, but Vandy does this with Pavia. He's their leading rusher damn near. Like he's got 200 yards on the ground, but I should say he's got 70 carries. This all this guy does. It seems like when the pocket breaks down, he takes off and run. He can make a few people miss, but this is not what I wanted to see out of Jackson Arnold. I want to see him throw the ball to these elite receivers in Eric Singleton Jr. and Cam Coleman's like probably my favorite receiver in college football. I actually think he might be the best receiver in college football. And if you guys, maybe I'm crazy here, and I'm not trying to simp for Auburn, but Cam Coleman reminds me a lot of like a young man's Calvin Johnson at Georgia Tech. That's what he reminds me of. Big body, can go up and get a ball, physical receiver. Got every tool on the planet imaginable, and they struggle to get him the ball. He's got 17 catches, 255 yards on the year, and just 2 scores. It's weird. Singleton on the other side, he's a damn good receiver, the transfer from Georgia Tech, 27 catches, 265 yards, and 2 scores as well. So it's weird. It's hard to watch sometimes, watching Auburn play football on offense. I don't understand what's going on. The O-line is one of the worst in the SEC. I will say that. So Arnold's not getting any help there. I like I said, I don't want to place all the blame on him, but the other side of the ball, Auburn's really good. I have no questions about their defense. They're on the field the majority of the game, and they've done a decent job in these close games that they've lost, right? I mean, A&M, they gave up 16 points. They only gave up 24 against Oklahoma, who had Mateer in that game. I don't know what else to say about Auburn's defense other than they can continue to do what they want to do here and play well, just like Florida, for example. Their defense is really freaking good too. But when your offense is so bad and you can't sustain drives for longer than a minute and you're punting the ball back, your defense is on the field 75% of the time. You guys get where I'm going with this. That's what I'm concerned about in this game. As far as me betting this game, I hate to do this, but I'm on Georgia here. I have no skin in this game, by the way, before you guys comment. I'm not taking sides here. I'm some closet Georgia fan or I hate Auburn. No, I'm taking Georgia in this game because, one, they got the better coach by far, in my opinion. The quarterback, I still think Stockton's a decent quarterback. I want to see him play a little bit better, throw the ball a little more accurately. But Jackson Arnold, I just don't know what I'm going to get with him. And then the defenses, honestly, Auburn might have a little bit better defense than Georgia right now. But, man, I got to take the team that can at least score some points, and that's been Georgia for the most part this season. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to lay the 3 here with Georgia. I'm not going to touch the over-under. I do think this is an ugly, like low-scoring defensive type of game. I could see this being somewhere along the lines of like a 21-17, 24-21 type of game. But I'm going to lay the points here with Georgia. With that being said, guys, truly appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments who you think's winning this game and who you're betting on. With that being said, we'll see you next time.